The 2020 NFL offseason was probably the craziest in NFL history. There were so many players who were superstars at the time, and some of them still are superstars, but there were superstars at the time who were going to new teams. Some of these players were on the same team for a whole decade. Let's go over the craziest offseason in NFL history. 2022. We're to go back to early February, before the offseason even began, before the Super Bowl was even played, and that was the shocking news of Tom Brady's retirement. This was really shocking because Tom Brady, just a season prior, just came off a Super Bowl win. He had just led the Bucs to the divisional round where they almost beat the Rams, and he was coming out of an MVP season. It looked like he still had some left in the tank. And with him being Tom Brady, you'd expect him to go off into the sunset winning a Super Bowl, but no, he's just decided that he's going to retire early. Even though this was shocking, the NFL world rejoiced. Tom Brady, the GOAT, was finally done dominating the NFL, and there can finally be parity and freedom again in the National Football League. Well, that was all for nothing. Just a month and a half later, he announced his unretirement, and he'd be playing again, so that sucks. Thankfully, him and his team sucked in 2022, even though they made the playoffs, and Tom Brady will retire for good just after the 2022 season. To begin March, the Cowboys would send star wide receiver Amari Cooper to the Cleveland Browns for pretty much nothing. Now, the Cowboys trading Amari Cooper was inevitable. As you see from his stats, he was not at his full best this season. This was his worst season since 2016, and with CeeDee Lamb emerging as the number one receiver on the Cowboys, it was time to trade him away. Like I said, the Cowboys would trade Amari Cooper away to the Browns for a 5th round pick and a 6th round pick swap. They traded Amari Cooper away like he was some decent player, like he's Devonte Parker. But no, this is Amari Cooper. This was a Pro Bowler, and they were getting nothing in return. And as you can see from the headline, this might have been the worst NFL trade of the year, and I believe it was. But these last 2 seasons here in Cleveland for Amari Cooper have arguably been his best in his NFL career, as in 2022, he posted 1,160 yards and career-high numbers and touchdowns with 9, and this past season in 2023, 1,250 yards, which is the most in his NFL career, and 5 touchdowns. This just makes us look even dumber. Now, this wasn't the only crazy move the Browns made that offseason, as they would trade for Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, who sat out in 2021 because, well, you know why he sat out. But the last time he played in 2020, he was absolutely phenomenal, and when he's healthy and when he's good, he's arguably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, so who knows, this could be a good trade, but he does have a hefty contract, so if this doesn't work out, it's going to be a huge backfire. And this trade has not worked out at all, as in his 2 seasons in Cleveland, he's been mediocre at best, and in entering 2024, he's on the hot seat. If he doesn't succeed this season, he's most likely never going to be a QB1 again in the NFL, and like I said, this trade has been a huge backfire. With the Browns trading for Deshaun Watson, they traded their QB1 from 2021, Baker Mayfield, to the Carolina Panthers for a draft pick. Even though he failed with Carolina this past season with Tampa Bay, he was terrific, and he led Tampa Bay to the playoffs, and they just re-signed Baker to a 3-year deal. There were also some decent signings, such as Von Miller to the Bills, Ron Armstead signing with the Dolphins, J.C. Jackson to the Chargers, which failed miserably, Christian Kirk going to the Jaguars, Randy Gregory to the Broncos. Even though he was supposed to re-sign with us at the last second, he signed with the Broncos, a very confusing, bizarre situation, and Marcus Williams to the Ravens. We're now going to go on to the Russell Wilson trade. This is a trade that really broke open this crazy offseason, and honestly, I'm kind of tired of talking about this. I've made a whole video about this trade, and I've been talking about Russell Wilson way too much, but you know what? I'm just going to go in depth to it. Why not? Basically, Russell Wilson had been mad at the Seahawks for a long time, and this was finally the time to put the deal together. The Broncos were needing a quarterback. Russell Wilson was frustrated, so Russell Wilson was traded to the Broncos for a haul of players and draft picks that are listed on the screen right now. And as you can see, the Seahawks easily won the trade. In 2022, Russell Wilson didn't just have his worst season in his career, he was one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. They fired the head coach, and then in 2023, he wasn't all too bad, kind of returned to form, still wasn't there though, But after the season, Sean Payton and the Broncos decided, yeah, let's move on from Russell Wilson. He got released, and you know what happened. He's on the Steelers now, hoping for a career renaissance. The Seahawks decided to ride with Gino Smith, and it worked out very well for them, as Gino Smith had a career resurgence, having his two best seasons in 2022 and 2023, winning Comeback Player of the Year in 2022, and leading the Seahawks to the playoffs. The Seahawks would also get the Broncos' 2023 first-round pick, and that was a very good pick, number 5 overall. And with that pick, they took Devon Witherspoon, and he's been very good for the Seahawks so far in his NFL career. He's only played one season, but in his one season, he was very good. The next big superstar trade happened just a few days later, and the Packers would trade wide receiver Davante Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders. In this trade, the Raiders would give up their first and second round pick that year, and those picks were turned into Quay Walker and Christian Watson, so not bad for the Packers at all. The main reason why Davante Adams wanted to go to the Raiders was because of quarterback Derek Carr. They were teaming together at Fresno State, and at Fresno State they were electrifying. So with them being reunited with Derek Carr, who knows, crazy things could happen. The head coach Josh McDaniel completely kicked Derek Carr to the curb, and he's now on the Saints, and he kind of ruined the Raiders, and that's why he's not the head coach anymore. But in his 2 seasons so far with Las Vegas, he has not been bad. In 2022, with Derek Carr as his quarterback, by the way, he was producing his normal numbers, but this season he took a decline, mainly because his main quarterbacks were Jimmy Garoppolo and Aiden O'Connell, and his quarterback situation looks like it's not going to get better, and he's also rumored to be unhappy in Las Vegas, which makes sense. They kicked his college quarterback to the curb, the main reason he came to Las Vegas, so he's still on the team, but we'll just have to wait to see. The last one, we're going to be talking about the main one, Tyreek Hill being traded to the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill being traded to Miami because they were willing to give him a lot of money, and Miami, in exchange, would send back a first and a second round pick. I don't know who the second round pick was, but if you're wondering who the first round pick was, it was Trent McDuffie, who just made an all-pro team this season, so not bad for the Chiefs at all. But this trade from Miami was an absolute success, as in his 2 seasons so far in Miami, Tyreek Hill has become the best receiver in the NFL, putting up almost 1,800 yards in both seasons. Both were career highs at the time, and Tyreek Hill has absolutely opened the floodgates open for this Dolphins offense. And at the time of this trade, everyone thought Kansas City, well, they were screwed. They were without a wide receiver one now. Who was Patrick Mahomes going to throw to? This dynasty, this could have been dynasty, is now over. Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, they're never succeeding again. Oh, how wrong we were. I mean, seriously, I want this pain to end. Meanwhile, the Dolphins still haven't won a playoff game, mainly because Tua's been hurt, and he also can't play in the cold. Once he can figure out how to play in the cold, they will be well off. There are some moves I'm missing. I'm sorry if I missed them. I'm really tired. I need to get this video, and I'm sorry I haven't posted in so long. I've been away. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know if I missed anything, and goodbye.